When you're really fighting to get out of your fight routines, as far as combat, he's sitting there fighting. I'm saying, see, we're doing this here, right? The real fight is all here. So none of this happens. We're not doing, this is all like sparring. This is all play. But now we're sitting here. It's all here. It's all movement from here. It's all the whole fight is subtle. So we're saying we're sparring. This is the fight. This is all what you're doing. You're just walking through. It's all motion here, all here. It's all that. It's all none of this. What we're doing when you're sparring. That's conventional fighting. That's just fighting. All of this is just moving in. So your fight is all here. You see, this is all your fight. This is all the movements. How you really fight. You walk through, and that's what Musashi meant. First one with the sword. Two warriors, because that's basically a freestyle. So if you were facing a high-ranking Sifu, it would be like you'd be standing here, I'd be standing here, and you'd just be moving. It's not going to be all this stuff. You're just moving. Finally said, "You want to go get some tea?" Yeah, okay, let's just get some tea. But we're also conventionally trained, right? But Mortal Kombat is completely different. So discipline. You guys have to realize that in your nature, in life, there are many emotions, emotional content, right? Now, to be present in that emotion is what's going to be important. If you guys look through your past life, you can look to the time that maybe was your first Christmas, to the time you had an operation. You can think of how many good things and how many good moments you may have had in your life, to how many bad moments you have in your life. There's more bad than there really is good, or there's more boredom than there is happy moments. That's because you just don't recognize it and you're not bringing all the voices together. The one thing that you have to realize, the whole idea of the form, is that each movement in the form is expressing a different voice, a different personality. Basically, we all are made up of multiple personalities. There are many, many voices in us, and we need to amalgamate all those voices together. Some people, many people, such as criminally minded people, or people that are, that have different mental disorders, or have different anxiety disorders, or a lack of chemicals. But you do have the ability to correct them within yourself. The forms are part of the key to that, and part of the discipline to that. Bringing all those voices together. You need to amalgamate them all together, and you need to appreciate what each voice is saying. You need to appreciate each moment in your time. So if you look at your life, it's just made up of moments, right? If you can go back from the time you were a child to where you are now, you think about those moments, the time that you first made love, the time that you got your first Christmas present, the time when all of these different things are all stuff that you could become present. And then we're always looking for those moments. We're always looking for joyful participation, joyfully happy, whatever happiness may be. But happiness only comes in a moment. Like when you buy something new. For the moment that you're buying something new, or that you're ordering, you're caught up in that moment, and it speaks to a voice that becomes happy. Right? When you want something, you're working for financial freedom. The idea of financial freedom, the idea of hitting the lottery makes you happy. Just the idea of it. The idea of having sex with somebody makes you happy. If that person reciprocates with it, you're even happier. Right? So all of these things go into play. All of this stuff brings this point. Also, it has a duality, because when those things don't happen, or if they're just in your thoughts or just in your voice, they become depression. They become anxieties. They become fixations, right? Instead of motion and movement. And the idea of discipline is bringing those voices together and realizing that you are made up of all these different personalities. Like a bipolar person will switch from one person to the other person and go into this person. A person may have, one person could be happy all of a sudden and be sad all of a sudden and be depressed all of a sudden. And we give all these drugs to it. Well, your forms are like that drug. If you want to accomplish things in your life, truly accomplish things, you have to be, as the Buddha says, joyfully participating in the sufferings of the world. And what that means is be a part of everything in every moment that you're in. that's why I talk about hallways, because hallways, they're always leading somewhere, and they're taking you somewhere. So you have all these voices. If you really want to discover what it means to be more disciplined, to have more understanding, all these voices have to come together. You can't let the voices rule you. So, you guys always see me, for the most part, I'm always the same. Even when I was close to death, always the same. Because all these voices come in and they come together. But you guys are constantly scattered. The voices scatter you. There's hard times to concentrate. There's hard times because of what we want and where we're going or what we're trying to do. So the voice, Harry may take over where Bill is putting back, or Sue may come into the picture. You have all these personalities. We all have multiple voices within us. Thousands of voices that are all trying to get their say. The point is when those voices take over, they take over your life. They cause anxieties, they cause problems, they cause disappointment. That's the biggest voice of all. Because each voice, or each member of that voice, expresses different disappointments in your life. You're disappointed with yourself. You're disappointed with the way your life's turning out. You're disappointed that your dream didn't come true, right? Instead of listening and really becoming a part of the whole, experiencing it, and that's what it means. There is no disappointment. There just is. You think of somebody, right, that is making a change, a social change in the world. Is it Obama? Is it the richest man in the world? Was it, Gates or Mr. Apple guy or any of these people, right? They're either dead, here, they have their voice, they're doing one voice, whatever it may be, and you say, oh, well, if I was this guy, I could do this, but nobody's really changing anything. True change, has to come from you. And the subtleties that those changes will bring on other people. But there's so many voices in other people that they don't really conduct those changes properly. It's like Walt Disney started out with a great dream, and he created Epcot and the whole idea of figment of the imagination. He got it, the figment. And now Walt Disney, if he was alive, I think would be really disappointed with what has happened to Disney.
He progressively did.
Yeah, because it's become very commercial. It's lost its meaning of what he started out for. His voice meeting millions of other voices that want whatever they want. So the idea is for you to understand what the voices are saying and not let them overpower you. For you to come back to who and get them all together in the chaos that they're in. Basically, our minds, our chemistry, our bodies are always in chaos. But there is order in chaos. So when you're doing your forms and you're coming through with your motion, you're expressing one voice with all the voices together, because each move represents a different organ. Each move represents a different element. Each move represents a different personality. That's the key to the forms. That's when they go deeper. When it's not just, I'm just doing a form so one day I glow in the dark in the backyard. You're doing the form to really get a sense of who you are and express yourself. When you're an artist and you're doing your art, I'm not just talking to the camera, I'm talking to the guy behind it, right? When you're doing this, you're expressing a voice within you. Maybe different voices are coming through, but the artist is your groundwork. That is who you're trying to express, and the voice is speaking, or however it is that you're expressing, through what you're putting on canvas. It's the same thing when you're doing your form. It's the same thing when you're driving your car, when you're walking down the street, and when you're working at your job, right? It's becoming a participant. It's becoming aware of where you are, right? It's participating in that moment through all the voices, not letting the moments be something that you're trying to get back to, be something that you're trying to control, but instead being a part of the moment. So when I'm doing my form, I'm a part of the moment. I'm not just trying to control it, I'm expressing it. So I'm letting the voices reach the surface. I'm understanding what the voice is saying to me, but yet I'm expressing it through me. Right? It's not taking control of me. It's not causing me to have anxieties. It's not causing me to become depressed. It's not causing me to be disappointed. It's allowing me to move through what it is that I want to accomplish in myself, what it is I want to express, and becoming important to me. You know, I become important to me. You know, everything that follows me or people that may love me or care about me, they're all part of that, but it's because of me that I'm where I'm at. So I'm not looking to impress or give something to the world. I'm being myself. I'm expressing myself within the world. As Mr. Campbell says, you know, what is the meaning of life? You bring meaning to it. That is the key. The way I came into this world and whatever I express within the world is the way I'm going to go out of the world. I'm going to go out the way I came in, by myself. So while I'm in the world, I'm expressing, I'm understanding the voices, but I'm not letting the voices control me. I'm not letting them depress me. I'm not letting them not allow me to accomplish the things that I want to accomplish. I'm listening to them, I'm feeling them, I'm expressing them, and I'm bringing them out. And I'm amalgamating them together. But there are all these multiple personalities in every one of us. Biological, chemical, family, the way you were raised, all of these things. The form work is the idea of bringing all of the voices together through the one thing that you have, your body. Without it, you have nothing. You can't become an artist, you can't become a billionaire, you can't become married and have a lot of kids.
What?
Right? You can't do any of those things. You know, all of these, without the body and without the hallway of moving through your experience, is all about the many voices coming in. And when you do your artwork, Mr. Post, it's many voices coming out in the expression of your artwork. There may be one main voice that's the core, and while your artwork always seems familiar, sometimes your artwork may be more abstract. There may be different influences, like the girl you're seeing now may have a different influence. Your artwork may start to change a little bit, but everything comes down to your core. Everything comes down to your expression. So it's how you want to live in the world with all these voices. And how you want to express yourself in the world, that's up to you. You know, whether you achieve it or not, it's up to you. It's not really important to achieve it. It's important to listen and be mindful of where you are. So you're not insane. You know? But basically, we have all these multiple personalities. Your form work helps you express them and will help give you the discipline you need to accomplish whatever it is that you want to accomplish in your life, whether you accomplish it or not. You are participating in it, and you are alive. You really are alive. You know, you're in joyful participation with your own sufferings and the sufferings of the world. So forms really are a key to understanding and an expression of who and what you are. They are much more than just doing movement. And that is why you become dangerous. You know? And at the same time, not dangerous. Yeah, I may be dangerous, but if somebody wants to kill me, if you want to, you know, you got to sneak up behind me and kill me, or you got to shoot me with an M16, you know, and then you move on, you know. But that's because a voice gets caught up with you. You know, like the story when my friend came and visited me in the hospital, and I was like 90-something pounds, right? I weighed 90-something pounds, and I know that he was saying, "Oh, now I got him. I can kill him," and I could feel that he's saying that. And I'm saying to myself, well, I would just, as he walked over to do that, he's expecting me to do kung fu. I'm just going to pull the intravenous thing out of my arm and stick it right in his throat as he comes to me. So it's a whole different expression. The point is that, you know, you just start to understand, like, you're listening to a different voice. Oh, my ego gets in the way, and this, that, and the other thing. It's not about that. It's about really, oh, I understand that voice, but I'm not going to let that voice control me. And you move on. You move through things. And you become more expressive. So the idea of form is really understanding all the movement and how it's expressing through your physical church. You know, this is the church. Without this, you don't have anything. This is your experience. So you need to express it and use it in everything that you do. And disappointment or depression, should not be a part of your life. It's just that you're listening to the wrong voice. You guys all on track with me? So you need to listen to your voices and hear what they're saying, but amalgamate them, understand them, and understand that you have multiple personalities. We all do, and they're all saying something different. Don't let them defeat you. Bring that creativity and let it be your journey. Don't measure your journey by your success of what the world says is successful. Measure your journey by the success of who you are, and you will always follow that path that will lead you to true understanding what joy is. Not measured by what anybody thinks or says about you, by you being who you are. Whether you're, a person that's working in McDonald's or a person that's living in a penthouse making billions of dollars, it becomes irrelevant. Success is measured by you and what you hear, not by what the world deems as successful. Good class?
Yes.
You guys did well. Good.